Joey. Poor old creator. He's 15. He's got dementia. He's half deaf, half blind. But he's still going strong-ish. And of course, these two are an obstacle from getting some work done. Although that's only an excuse, really. So here's the thing. The last two videos you've seen were two jobs that I did in the same week. So I had one job you saw in one weekend and the other job you saw in the other weekend. And in between, I've been working away without filming. So what I have done is pulled out all the rubbish that was in boxes under there and tipped it all out on the ground. And then I chucked the boxes that were in and I went savage on throwing out stuff that I've been collecting that might come in handy one day, but I really know down deep that it'll never be used. So what I want is to put that stuff that is actually useful back into these boxes that are all the same. I can label them and put them back under those shelves and be a little bit organized and a little bit uniform. I've also got that new bench over there is getting stacked up with things that need putting away properly. I put a shelf on top there where I've got those little collector sorter outer boxes. I was at Bunnings one day and I thought, a box of nuts and bolts, that's very handy and pretty cheap. So I bought 2 boxes. And then a couple of months later, I was in Bunnings and saw nuts and bolts in boxes and very cheap. And I forgot that I bought 2 already. So I bought 2 more. That's what happens when your shed's not organized and you've got a forgetful mind. So now I've got 4 boxes of nuts and bolts. And that's not even counting that drawer full of different sized nuts and bolts, small ones. And that drawer full of big nuts and bolts. Nicely organized. I wish all my shed was as organized as that. I installed a new light underneath the shelf. I've started sorting things out above the shelf. Another thing that's holding me up at the moment is I'm waiting for delivery of hooks for the pegboard wall. I've ordered them on Temu. Probably take a week or so. I think I'll do an unboxing today. At least that's what they call it on YouTube. Most normal people would just say, I'm going to take that out of the box. I bought this thing at Bunnings about 6 months ago and it's still in its box, sitting in the corner of my shed, doing nothing. It was on special. I've been looking at it for a long time and it was around the $750, $800 mark or something like that. And then one day I saw it, and maybe it was just this one because the box was damaged or something, but it was on for $550. So I snapped it up. It's been sitting in the corner of my shed ever since. But there's my first test cut. It's not too bad. It's a 10mm thick blade, so you wouldn't expect it to curve too easily, but there you go. I also tried to resaw, but it was complaining about that. And it's probably just because the way I was holding it, but anyway, and that's only MDF. Need to try something more substantial. Would need sanding afterwards, but no problemo whatsoever. I'm still doing off-camera tidy-ups in my shed. I got rid of the big pile of rubbish or stuff to be sorted later, mostly by scooping it up with a shovel and chucking it in a bucket marked sorted out later. This next bit is sort of momentous, is that I'm going to unbolt that from the bench and take it downstairs to the bunker where it's going to live permanently. Now that I dragged it down here and plonked it on the bench, it hardly seems momentous at all. I'm just moving a piece of furniture. Oh well. Going back upstairs to keep cleaning up. It's about 2 days later now, I think, since the last update. And I've made good progress in here. I've cleaned up and tidied off that bench as best I can, or as much as I want. I also panelled the wall behind it there. There was a big hole under the window there. I turned this bench upside down and put new heavier duty casters on it and added that wood there to screw them into. I've permanently or semi-permanently attached all these tools to that bench. So my new saw is anchored down there on the corner. I've got this little drop saw anchored down. Thicknesser has moved from the center of the bench to the edge of the bench to give clearance to those things. This is the next thing I want to work on. A miter saw table with wings, folding wings. I'm just going to put a custom made pallet underneath so it can be moved easily. And I'm also going to address more substantially the dust collection on this. After a bit of jiggery pokery, including cutting a piece off of that joint there, I have finally got a tight fit for the bottom of my funnel. Now I just need to block in the sides. And I've got 2 triangular shaped sides to go in there. Took me 3 attempts to get that right, or not even right, it's just nearly right, to get the angles and the size and the cutouts right. And then once I had that one made in the 3rd attempt, I could use it as a template to make that one. Oh, bugger. Leaks around the edges don't really matter. It'll all go in the right direction anyway. But If it's not leaking around the sides, means all the vacuum is coming down through the top where the blade is. And that's what I want. Inspection / maintenance hatch. Couldn't sell it. Allowed for that. And also, before you say, what if I want to cut a 45-degree angle? Well, I don't intend to, because the numbers are worn off the saw base. So if I wanted to do 45, I'd have to do it with a square, and then I'd have to do it with a square to get it back to 90. So I intend to leave this at 90. Only use it as a 90. I'll use a different saw if I want 45. Now we've got to build up top. Okie dokes, I've got the top roughed in. It's got some more work to go. And the saw is attached, lined up with the fences. So now it's time to give it a test run, see if the vacuum actually works. Don't know if you could see it then, but the sawdust comes off the blade here and a lot of it hits this flattish surface area and scatters everywhere, including forwards. So I'm thinking if I put a V-shaped wedge to cover that so that it all gets deflected into the back corner of the box, that should make an improvement. Right, I've made 2 modifications that work brilliant. It's catching at least 90% of all the dust now, going straight down the hole. What'll I show you? So the first thing I did was wedge that V-shaped piece of plastic into the mechanism there. And that's an offcut from the dish in the bottom of the hole down there. It's just wedged in there. The second modification is I plugged the extractor hose part with a little bone from my plumbing supplies box, and that O-ring just keeps it nicely in that hole. Brilliant. So I'll give you another look at it now. I'm going to try a cut without the vacuum, see what it's like. Not too bad on the bench, but a lot on the saw. Now I'll do the exact same thing with the vacuum on. I'm happy with that as it is for now. If I wanted to make an improvement, what I could do is put a fan up there blowing downwards to assist. Or I was thinking like computer fans, four or five computer fans along there. Doing that. That'd help. Anyway, it'll do for now. I shall trim these edges, make it look a bit prettier, and I'm going to buy some like adhesive sticker thingies to put on it to decorate it, make it look even more like a game console in a video arcade. That was deliberate, just for fun. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little escapade with this, although I didn't show you much of the actual doings. But I'm pleased with that. And I will see you in the next video.